My ex broke into my house while I was with my new girlfriend and I collapsed. Karen wasn't just a person I dated, she was a fever I couldn't sweat out. For 2 years, she systematically dismantled every piece of my self-respect while I thanked her for the privilege. She cheated with guys I knew. She ridiculed my deepest insecurities in front of my friends until they stopped calling me. And then, when there was nothing left to break, she discarded me like a piece of trash. I thought I was free when she walked away, but the trauma was just dormant. I spent months rebuilding. I met Lucy, a girl who was the complete opposite of the chaos I had grown addicted to. Lucy was gentle, kind, and so incredibly naive to the darkness people can carry. We had been together for a few months, and for the first time in years, the ringing in my ears had stopped. I felt safe. I felt like a man again. That was until last Tuesday, when the front door of my apartment didn't just open. It exploded inward. I was sitting on the couch with Lucy, sharing a quiet moment, when Karen stormed in. She didn't knock. She didn't call. She just arrived like a natural disaster. The air in the room instantly turned heavy, and my heart started hammering against my ribs so hard I thought it would crack a bone. Karen looked at Lucy, her eyes filled with a terrifying, cold disdain, and screamed, "Get your things and get out of my house." It wasn't her house. She hadn't lived there in 6 months, but the authority in her voice was absolute. Lucy was frozen, her face pale, trembling as she looked between us. Before I could even find my breath to defend her, Karen was in my face. The smell of her perfume, a scent I used to associate with both passion and pain, filled my lungs and made my head spin. She started hitting me, hard. Her palms cracked against my cheeks, over and over, stinging like fire. "How dare you?" she hissed. "How dare you think you could just replace me?" Then, in a move that completely short-circuited my brain, the violence stopped. She grabbed my face, her fingers digging into my skin, and pulled me into a kiss that tasted like iron and desperation. I was paralyzed. My mind was screaming at me to push her away, to protect Lucy, to be the man I thought I had become, but my body wouldn't obey. It was like I was a puppet and Karen had found the strings shed left attached to my spine. Lucy was standing just 2 feet away, silent tears streaming down her face, witnessing the total collapse of the man she thought she loved. Karen pulled back, her eyes wild, and whispered, "I never gave you permission to have a relationship." She reached out and gripped my throat, not enough to choke me, but enough to remind me who owned me. "You owe me, Michael. You are mine until I say you're not." In that moment, something inside me just snapped. All the progress, the gym sessions, the therapy, the male strength I thought I had cultivated, it evaporated. I felt small. I felt like a child. Without even realizing what I was doing, my knees hit the floor. I was on the ground, looking up at my abuser, and I started sobbing. "I'm sorry," I choked out, the words tasting like ash. "Please, Karen, I'm sorry. Just forgive me." I was begging her. I was actually begging the woman who had destroyed my life to forgive me for trying to be happy. Lucy let out a small, broken sob and ran out the front door. I heard her footsteps fading down the hallway, and I didn't even turn my head. Couldn't. I was locked into Karen's gaze. She looked down at me with a smirk of pure, malicious triumph. She knew she had won. Without a word, she pushed me back onto the rug and climbed on top of me. There was no love in it. It wasn't an act of passion, it was a flag being planted in conquered territory. I felt like a ghost in my own body, watching myself lose everything I had worked for in a matter of minutes, while the woman who ruined me took exactly what she wanted. After she finished, she didn't linger. She got up, adjusted her dress, and walked to the mirror in the hallway. I stayed on the floor, staring at the spot where Lucy had been standing just moments ago. The silence in the apartment was deafening, broken only by the sound of Karen humming a tune I didn't recognize. She looked at my reflection through the glass and smiled. A sharp, predatory smile. "I'll call you tomorrow, Michael. Don't make me come over again," Karen said as she picked up her purse and walked out, leaving the door wide open. I laid there for an hour, maybe longer. I watched the dust motes dancing in the light, feeling completely hollow. My phone buzzed on the coffee table. It was a text from Lucy. It was short. Don't ever contact me again. I don't recognize the person I saw today. The weight of those words crushed what little was left of my spirit. I had spent months convincing Lucy I was a stable, strong man who could protect her. In 10 minutes, Karen had exposed that as a lie. I wasn't a protector, I was a victim who had started to love his own chains. The worst part wasn't even the violence or the infidelity Karen had put me through in the past. It was the realization that I had participated in my own destruction. I had knelt. I had begged. I had let the woman I supposedly loved walk out into the night while I stayed to serve the woman who hated me. I tried to get up, but my legs felt like lead. I crawled to the bathroom and splashed cold water on my face, looking at the red marks of Karen's fingers still visible on my neck. I looked at the man in the mirror and I didn't see a man. I saw a shell. I realized then that Karen didn't just want me back, she wanted to ensure I was never whole enough for anyone else. She wanted to prove that she owned my soul, and she had succeeded. I picked up my phone to call Lucy, to explain, to apologize, to tell her about trauma bonding and the psychological grip Karen had on me, but I deleted the message before sending it. What could I say? I'm sorry I let my ex humiliate me, and then slept with her while you cried? There are no words for that. The night dragged on. I sat in the dark, jumping at every sound from the hallway, terrified she might come back and relieved that she might. That's the sickness of it. Even now, after she took everything from me, a part of my brain was already waiting for that next hit of her attention. I knew I needed to change the locks. I knew I needed to move. I knew I needed to call the police. But as I sat there, I realized I had already deleted the security footage from the doorbell camera. I was already protecting her. I was already covering for the person who had just murdered my future. I am sitting here now, writing this because I have no one left to tell. My friends are gone, Lucy is gone, and I am just waiting for the phone to ring. I know it will be Karen. And I know, deep down in the part of me that I hate most, that I will answer.